everybody. We are toward the end of week 2 here, and the next activity is the Reframing Self-Doubts. So in this activity, we are identifying your top 3 doubts, those negative thoughts that run through your head and break down your confidence, and those inner beliefs that make you feel as if you cannot achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So in this exercise, we're going to reframe those negative thoughts into positive thoughts and up your self-belief in your own abilities. So kind of there's 3 categories of self-doubts that are very common for every single performer to have. The first one is demand or overwhelming thoughts. So these are the thoughts that it's too big, I can't handle it, I can't do this, and it's really kind of more of an overwhelming self-doubt. The second one is in abilities and skills, and this is thoughts, self-doubt thoughts of I don't have the skills, I'm not talented enough, I'm not good enough to be able to achieve this. It could also be my horse isn't good enough for our horse goals. So those are the second kind of self-doubts. And then the third one is focusing on the outcomes or the consequences, or a focus on worst case scenarios. So it's the thoughts that instantly go to the negative and go all the way to that worst case. So it could be your biggest fear is that you're going to get bucked off in the show pen and you're going to feel really embarrassed, or that you'll get hurt. So those are the 3, if you get all your self-doubts listed out, they usually fall into one of those 3 categories. And so as we're going through and reframing our self-doubts, kind of keep in mind those categories, so then we can kind of get to the core of what the issue is, so that we can do a little bit more mental work to really counteract it and turn it around. So as you're going through and working on your reframing, if your thought, so I'm going to give you some examples of negative thoughts and then some words to change it into a more positive thought. So if your thought is, it's too difficult for me, instead change it into, it's a challenge for me. Changing the word difficult, difficult is very negative and seems impossible, to instead being a challenge. Challenge is something that we get a little bit more excited about. Challenges are something that, it's going to take some effort, but it's going to be worth it when we do it. So changing that word difficult to challenge. Another one is the thoughts of, I can't do that. I just can't. It's too hard. So changing that instead to, I can do blah, 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 if I, or provided I. The thing with changing these positive affirmations is they have to be believable. We can't lie to ourselves. We're going to know that we're lying to ourselves. So just turning, a feeling of, I can't remember my raining pattern into, I can remember my raining pattern, if we know in our heads that it is something that we are really, really struggling with, and the last 5 times that we've shown we've forgotten our pattern, we need to convince ourselves by adding to that statement. So the I can remember my raining pattern if I, here's where we add something in. So if I visualize running my pattern, or if I write it down, if, give yourself an action. So that does 2 things. 1, now you're visualizing the plan, and then 2, you're convincing yourself and really making it more concrete by giving that example of what you're going to do, making it more believable and changing that negative I can't into I can if I do fill in the blank. The next common negative thought is if only, or I hope, or those kinds of, if it starts with if, so it could be if I had a better horse I could, or if I had more time I could. And instead changing those thoughts to when I. So changing it from an if and a negative, it's never going to happen kind of belief, to more of a positive, when I do blah, 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 blah. And again, that really helps make it more concrete, make it believable, and gives you a plan. So find a way to make it more positive by using when I. Another one that's really common is I'm worried, I'm scared, I'm afraid that, these fear kind of self-doubts, and changing them into I'll be okay if, and then again giving an example of what you're going to do to make sure that it happens. So if your worry is I'm worried that I'll forget my pattern, you can do I'll be okay if I visualize it. Or it could be I'm worried that I'll never be good enough to qualify my horse. So let's do my own. I'm worried that I'll never be a good enough trainer to train my homebred horses to be able to qualify for the AQHA World Show and Ranch Riding. So I'll transform that negative self-talk into I'll be okay, I know I'm a good enough trainer if, and I will be able to qualify for the World Show if I put in the time to ride my horses, work with my horses, enter some shows, get some feedback, figure out what I have to improve, and then going home and doing my homework. So really turning these thoughts around from something that is negative and puts doubt in yourself into something that is more positive, believable, and gives you a plan. So those are kind of really big things, but it really will help make a difference as you go through to make your goals believable and so that you believe in yourself and your own journey. A couple more things on self-doubts and turning them around is making your own list of positive affirmations and kind of picking out a favorite one that you read every single day. So making something really positive of I love the excitement of showing my horses. I am excited when I get to go show. So creating something that's positive, that has some personal meaning for you, and then saying it once a day, twice a day, after you brush your teeth. Figure out something to make it ritualized so that you do it more consistently. Another thing that's really helpful for the self-doubts is going back to the Calm and Confident Competitor Challenge that some of you guys went through. One of the exercises was creating a confidence commercial. So going back to that, your confidence commercial, and reminding yourself of all of these things, all of these skills, all of these past achievements that you have done. So when you're getting these self-doubts of, I'll never be able to do blah, 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 you can tell yourself, yes, I will be able to do this. Look at what I have done, so that you have those examples. And then really getting into the habit of recognizing when you're having these negative thoughts, and then because you've practiced and you've written down some of these positive replacements, it'll become more instinctive when you have these thoughts to counter it instead of getting stuck in this negative loop. And then another one that is really, really helpful is using metaphors. when you're creating your positive statements. So when you use a metaphor, it really gives you a picture. So doing something it's a positive statement that you're going to tell yourself. You're going to say, I overcome challenges like, and then pick like a role model or a rider that you're really proud of, or that you aspire to be like. So create these metaphors that using I am like, and then fill in whatever inspiring image, or I am as, so we could do, I'm as gritty as my ranch mare Molasses is when the calves are out and she can see it and she doesn't quit until we get the job done. So finding those metaphors that mean something to you and give you a picture in your head really help you to believe in yourself and in your goals and in your abilities. So that's kind of a really long description of the self-doubts and reframing them. If you have any questions, please ask in the group. I am more than happy to help you write some of your own, recognize some of your own, and be able to really, it's not something that happens overnight. Reframing and recognizing your self-doubts and turning them into something positive is something that you need to practice. It's a mental muscle that does not come naturally, that we need to work at. So I understand it's going to be hard and we need to work at it. So give yourself a little bit of self-compassion here and understand that it's not going to come easy and it's going to be difficult. So hope that helps. Again, if you have any questions, leave a comment in the group or send me a message if you don't feel comfortable leaving something in the group. Although we've got a really good group here, guys. I'm so proud of all of you and happy that you're feeling comfortable, that you can share all of your thoughts. So thank you. Really proud of all of you and all the work that you've done so far. Have a good day.